State of the Union. Was it everything you expected? It was everything I expected. Hello and welcome once again to the Video Call-In Show, that show that invites you on as a live video guest to talk about anything you'd like to talk about. Topic of the day, current events, personal projects, or just chew the fat. Joining is easy. All you have to do is use that URL. I did not put one in the description this time. I think I'll go back and do that here in a minute. Just use that URL with this number. You'll be A-okay. I am your host, Jim, and I am here to listen and learn to and about you. All right, let's get on with this show. State of the Union address. It is going on currently. In fact, why don't we just tune in? I know a lot of you are probably watching it. Some may or may not be watching it. You're not political. That's cool. I happen to be. I follow politics quite a bit. I don't know why. It's kind of a sickness. But, you know, I just do. So it's still going on. And I already, checks and draws, welcome to the show, my friend. I already have some things to say about it. I've been taking notes. I'm missing it now. But let me just say that one of the things I decided to do was specifically tune in. You'll notice that on my left, your right, we're watching the live feed, the YouTube live feed from ABC News. I started out watching the NBC feed. Now, why did I do that? Well, because like a previous video of mine, what news is real news? And if I ever get around to building cards, I'll pop one up. But I told everyone, and I live by this, is that don't find yourself listening to just one or maybe two news sources that confirm your bias. Watch and listen to as many as you possibly can to get a well-rounded worldview. Okay. So having said that, hey. Having said that, and having tuned into NBC, here's some of the things that was really just distressing. I found it remarkable that all they wanted to talk about was how divided we are. This is the pregame, the pregame show. It just the commentators. That was first and foremost on their mind. Didn't matter. All of the things that we're going to go over that the president has said and is saying right now, we'll go over. I wonder if they'll pull me because copyright material. Let's find out, shall we? Okay, so most of this is going to be for those folks who are watching after this is recorded. That's fine. But another thing that really bugged me about NBC's coverage is they took, it seems like they took such great pains. I'm actually even watching NBC, and you can see that the camera is kind of over the president's right shoulder, and the view is more of the left side of the room. I think that's on purpose. I honestly think that's on purpose, especially when they zoom in. They zoom in, to where they see everybody standing, and which is arguably a good thing, because people should stand when they hear good things about the State of the Union. But what you find out is that, quick break here. Jackson Draw says, when we talked about you starting a GoFundMe page. I don't know, Jackson. It's one of those things, you'll never know who's going to donate. It's one of those things that you kind of have to put together a good little presentation. So you might need video to do, to ask people to donate to your video creation fund, for lack of a better term. So you might have to borrow a camera or use a friend's phone and just do a quick little intro. Say, look, I'm a high school kid. I think you're a high school kid, right? Did you say you're high school or 8th grade? One of the two. and shoot that video, but tell a compelling story, and then write that story as well. And who knows? Sometimes it gets picked up. But I think you may have to do a little bit of marketing on the outside. Maybe maybe a few posts on I don't know, a Reddit or something, an appropriate Reddit. Sorry, it's a little warm in here now. But yeah, well, you never know. You can't catch fish if your pole's not in the water, right? So there you go. Got to give it a shot. Where was I? Oh, yeah. So the problem I have with them showing just the people who are standing and clapping, full full standing applause, well, standing ovation rather, is that they're missing, and then I think they're purposely not showing people who are not those people who are, or in my estimation, disrespectful. Not only that, but they're so entrenched in their ideologues that they don't believe what he's saying is true. Which I get that, but the numbers don't lie, and that's the worst part about this is you look at AOC, which is I still to this day can't believe that someone of that low caliber got in. And I don't say that I don't say that to be disparaging. I literally think that she's not ready. I don't think she has the life experience. I don't think she has the intelligence to accurately legislate. I mean, you have to remember that she is going to be voting on bills that affect all of us. This is not a Brooklyn thing. This is not Jenny from the block or whatever the hell she tried to pass herself out. This is someone who's actually going to be voting on legislation and perhaps writing legislation. God help us. Well, actually, if she writes legislation, it won't go anywhere. People are too smart to and know that things like completely weaning ourselves off of fossil fuels in 10 years is just impractical, if not impossible. Enough of that. And of course, they remain seated. Pocahontas, the 1064th Indian, probably less Indian than everyone watching this program right now. 8th grade, okay. Pocahontas decided to sit for most of the good news about America, which I find just absolutely infuriating. I looked real hard, and you can actually see right now. Just take a look at the feed there. I can't tell if Nancy's drunk. Most of the time, she's got a crossword puzzle up in front of her, so we may never know. But she looks somewhat sober. One of these days, I'll call up one of the videos that's making the rounds that she just had, and I tell you, I really kind of feel sorry for her because I think she's losing it. I think she's she's of an age where her mind isn't working the way that it probably is certainly not as sharp as it used to be. But it's concerning. It really is concerning. So I'll talk here for another, I don't know, 5-10 minutes, and then I'll open up the video lines. Hey, that's a new one. Okay, so I may have to do 2 shows on this because there was a good example. Did you see that? The people that weren't standing for that? At any rate, I'll probably have to do another show on this because I'm missing half of it. But I promise you guys it'll go on at 10. Here I am. We'll let those chips fall where they may. So at any rate, what else did we learn? Oh, that whole making a statement is just I'm just so sick of it because there's no statement to be made other than you saw my open other than Orange Man bad. That is a meme that's been out there for quite a while. Now know first of all that I'm not what you would call a Trump fan. I wasn't sure where all that was going to go. I could not vote for the criminal that is Clinton, the Clinton crime family. I could not vote for them. And of course, the libertarians never put up anybody worth a crap. Poor Gary Johnson looks like he's stoned half the time, which I don't have a problem with because you should be allowed to do with your body whatever you want to. But I don't want him as a leader of the country or a governor of the country any more than I want an idiot like AOC. I want competent people who actually have the country's best interests at heart. Is that so wrong? I didn't think so. One of the most striking, and this is the first part of what I was watching, one of the most striking images in my mind is that the president made mention that since he became president, 5 million people have come off of the food stamp dole. I thought that was an extraordinarily wonderful number. Speaker of the House, you see her right there. See, that's her crossword puzzle. She sat there with a blank look on her face. The cameras actually went to a lot of those, what I would consider on the left, and they just sat there as during the standing ovation, not even putting their hands together. Now, if that's not telling about how they view government dependency, I don't know what is. I cannot stress that point enough. If you are not willing to cheer the fact that 5 million people found their way off of food stamps, then there's something seriously wrong with you. I'm being dead serious. If you cannot cheer or find some happiness in that number, then you don't give two shits about your fellow citizen. That's what I think. Sorry. But that's a serious point for me. I think it's a fantastic number. I mean, here, what we're talking about is people who need help feeding their family. When you get, and you can stay on food stamps for damn near ever. And in fact, watch some of the walk away videos, and you'll find people that have gone in, had to go on government assistance for a short time because they fell on hard times. They went to go get off of it, and the government workers were literally telling them, why would you do that? Why would you not take free money? Why would you refuse that? That's why there's a huge problem in this country. Any welfare state is a state that can be corrupted. You give people things and give people things and give people things. You absolve them from personal responsibility, and you end up with people that only want things from you and from us. Think about that for a moment. Well, this turned into a serious show, hadn't it? That's okay. I don't expect, having this on tonight, I don't expect a great deal of folks here. I know that some of my other friends, they were watching Flash and Your Pans live stream. And Flash, if you're watching, or if you watch this later, email me, man. The number, or my email address is right there. Email me, and I will help you troubleshoot that live stream problem, because I think I know what's going on with it. So, okay. So what else did we learn from the the State of the Union address, which is still going on? Maybe I should have waited until after this was over to go live, but then I'd already had it scheduled. So you get to enjoy this with good old Jim. Okay, so he also said that more people are at work today, and I believe he's talking about per capita, than ever in our history, in this country's history. Same thing applied. Look, did you see that crowd shot? They literally stuck on they panned on the crowd that was in standing ovation mode, and ignored all those people I'm sure are sitting on their asses. I wonder if you can hear this, because I've got it up in the background which is kind of disconcerting. But but anyway, let's see. What else did we find? You know, there was one, and surely when I watched the second half of this, there's going to be one thing that really bugged me, that, you know, he threw in, you know, we can't be divided, and we can't be at war, and we can't have political investigations, something to that effect. And I thought, oh, okay, you probably could have left that out. Oh, getting back to my feelings about Trump and who I voted for. Let's just use that as a segue, shall we? I'll admit it. I voted for him because I am kind of a lesser of two evils, and I saw the Clinton crime family as a huge evil, so I couldn't go that route. I didn't want to throw my vote away on you know, a third party because they just weren't strong enough. Now this is coming from a guy who actually voted for Perot. Because this is funny, because now we have a businessman, not a very good one, but you know, a businessman who is cranking the economy. That's exactly what I thought Perot would do. I had no idea that it would turn out the way it did for whatever reason, but I knew the economy was so very important. Okay, so I think he's a buffoon most of the time whenever it comes to social media, although it's he may very well be the most talented troll in the history of trolls. That has yet to be determined. Most people would call him an idiot. I don't know that he's such an idiot, really. I mean, idiots are those that start with the fortunes and they end up living out of the car, or, you know, because of their decisions, not because of external forces. Yeah, I know. Champworks says there's no video or no audio from video. I'm not broadcasting the audio on that. I didn't know if I should. So we're just kind of watching it and listening to me. I know. You know, pick your idiot, right? Oh, so. So yeah, when he said that about the investigations, I thought, oh, that kind of falls into his wheelhouse in uncomfortable statements, you know. But he is who he is. I think he's actually getting better. The further he gets away from his original campaign, the more presidential he appears. But you know, that of course is based on experience, and I'm sure his handlers are pushing him in that direction. Good for him. I say it's good for the country as well. So, and you know, the other thing that killed me was I was watching, I think, a Fox News panel prior to this. It was a YouTube live feed that was a Fox News panel, and they had this black dude on here on that show. And the only part I caught about was somebody asked him a question about, you know, do you think he'll reach out to all races? And all this guy did was go off on him. Oh, well, you know, he's a racist. You know, talking about the wall, he's racist. Talking about his past, he's racist. And then the president, without knowing that this pundit had gone down that road, has two wonderful folks that he's elevated in some manner, where the one gal her sentence was commuted. It was merely a drug charge. The other guy was the first recipient of the what is it called? I can't remember, but it's a new act that I think is more kind to time off for good behavior, is what it seems to me. Both of those individuals are black. You know, he didn't. I mean, is that what a racist does? Does a racist literally go out of their way to? You would think. Let me back up there. You would think that if you were truly racist, you wouldn't give two shits. You would never have moved in that direction, and and so no one could make a case otherwise. But now you've got something on the positive side, and of course they'll spin it. Oh, you know, token. Jesus, some people never learn. So. All right, I'm going to go ahead and open it up. I don't. Yes, Champ Works Garage. You're absolutely right. But then again, so is every president, because the one thing about the presidency is that the first there everybody's a rookie. Everybody's a rookie their first term, right? It may very well be, aside from, if you come up through the legislature, it's the only job that I know of with uh, it was really cool, and I say this because they stopped. There was actually two really cool segments in the first part of that. They honored three World War II vets, my father-in-law, which is one of them, um, and did so with great respect. And as brothers, it kind of gave me a lump. And then they uh, or then he did something else that I'll get to here in a minute. But I was just thinking about those vets. I thought that was cool. Oh, the other thing is that Chance of USA has happened like three times before the first hour, or within the first hour. And I thought that's awesome. At least half of those people get it. At least half of them get it. The other half are too busy trying to appease an extreme. And I just don't understand that. How well, no, I do understand it. I absolutely do understand it. It's my friggin' generation who's dropped the ball. I'm right at the tail end of the boomers, and for some stupid ass reason, most boomers have coddled their children like you wouldn't friggin' believe. And in doing so, what you do is you create people that need coddling. So now, what's happened is, well, many of the boomers. Oh, look, they're doing. You can't hear it, but it's another veteran tribute there. Anyway, you create these snowflakes, and I mean snowflakes in the true sense of the word, where they can't, nothing can happen. Um, yeah, yeah, you're right. I'm not sure exactly what you're trying to say there, Champworks. Unfortunately, you just have to be a middle class white person living in America, immediately racist, as taught by the government. You'll have to help me understand what you're trying to say. Before what, I guess, is my question. Oops, sorry. Oh, coming off the rails here. What was I saying? Oh yeah, yeah. You if you coddle your children to that extent, and your generation, if you do that, the everyone gets a trophy bullshit. If you my day, we were out until the lights came on, right? And I can remember being that way as early as like 5 years old. I can remember crossing busy streets at 5 years old to go see my friends. There's two different. I came from a broken family, so I did it for two different sides of town, two different streets, both on foot and bicycle. And um, and nowadays, nobody can do that. Even though there was probably more likelihood that I could have been abducted back then as to now. But the perception is, thanks to the 24-hour news cycle, that these things happen all the time. So it's created fear and panic among the boomers. So if you weren't a hippie and jumped on over into education to brainwash those people with that mindset, then you were a parent um, that were so afraid of losing your child one way or the other, even though the odds were in your favor, that we have produced those people, those people, We have produced those people who will not stand up for common sense and numbers that reflect reality. That's what it comes to. I don't know if that was a rant. I suppose it was, but it's the truth. You know, I know so many of my contemporaries who have gone down that road. I'm a firm believer that the the remarkable rise in allergies and asthma and all that kind of shit is for that exact same reason. Oh yeah, you're absolutely right, and that's a whole nother set of bullshit right there. Champwork says the state government basically told his wife in a conference that white people are the only race that can be racist, and that is just unmitigated bullshit. That deludes the actual definition. See, that this is where we're at right now. We're not even paying attention to the definition of words. We're making them up as we go along, only to disparage people. And I'm fucking tired of that. I am absolutely tired of that. So, okay. I mean, stop it. Just fucking stop it. What are you doing? Where are you learning this kind of crap? And if you don't feel that way, I'm not asking you, but you know, I'm speaking to those people who actually hold those beliefs. I mean, it's just not reality. It's just not reality. Take those kids. I did that whole show on the Covington kids who were confronted by that African American with the drum. Well, if you watch that 2-hour video and you want to see a race that is not white, that is entirely, utterly, completely racist to the core, that would have been those black Israelites, right? What do they call themselves? Something like that. I mean, go look. Even the Southern Poverty Law Center, one of the most liberal organizations on the planet, has them listed as I think it's a hate group, right? Well, what is racism if it's not laced with hate? And I'm so getting tired of that word, hate. So getting tired of that word. Champ Works, Jackson Draws. I am working myself up into a froth here. It's so unnerving to know that that people can be that delusional, can be taught to be that delusional, cannot find the truth. Again, if what I'm saying doesn't make sense to you right now, go watch some walk away videos. I beg you, go type in. Here, this is just going to be me and you. Type in walk away in YouTube search engine. Type it in right now. Go watch some walk away videos. Listen to what they say. Two things. Listen to what they say when they talk about the moment that things didn't seem right anymore to them, or what they believed didn't seem right to them anymore, and how they were treated once they had that realization and made it known. It is fascinating. Fascinating. Snowy Rains. My friend from Australia. Welcome to the show, Snowy. Snowy, since you might have just joined us, I have gone down a rabbit hole, a somewhat of a political, psychological. I'm in a funk here. I may have to follow this up with a happy show. I don't know. Okay, he just ended it. Let's take this. No, I'm not gonna use that one. Yeah. Yeah, at least that one. Pelosi shook his hand. Yeah, Snowy, I'm still working on editing your excerpt, hun. I'll get that up as soon as I can. I may not take any guests tonight. I worked myself into a mini depression here, and I'm serious. If and I'm not talking to any of you in the chat because I kind of know better, but if anything I've said tonight or on this video just seems wrong to you, go watch some walk away videos. You will learn so much about yourself and the ideas that you've embraced. I truly believe that. Yeah. All right, folks. Thanks, Snowy. I love good hug. I appreciate that. All right. So, one more time for fun. Yep, I learned a lot. Orange Man still bad. Listen, I want to thank everyone for watching the video. Thanks to my folks in the chat. Leave a comment below, and by all means, if this is content that you think is your cup of tea, smash that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you don't miss another show. I'm going to leave you with this. Remember, always treat others as you want to be treated, and the world will be a better place. All right. Good night, folks, and we'll see you live.